This is part 7 of my Pocket Reference Altered Book 2.0 series. That's a mouthful. This is the conclusion. Welcome, it's Winnie from BellaSunshyn. There is one key information that I left out when we were working on our pockets. It is the formula for the pocket, knowing when to rip out the pages. So for instance, with this one, the Hello Sunshine, we only use 2 pages. However, I did mention that we actually need 3 because when you put a vellum or a plastic for your window, you would need a page. So when you flip this, you are able to glue the vellum or the plastic in between 2 pages like this. And then this would be the third. So the formula for this one, if I say 1 or if I write out 1, that means you are keeping. If I put an R, that means you are ripping out. So for Hello Sunshine, it would work something like this. This is the first page. And what you would do is you are keeping this page, you're ripping this out, and then you are keeping this page. So if this page was gone, you would have 3 pages. 1, 2, 3. So with this one, I would write out the formula 1-1-R-1. That would be the formula. So keep 1, rip, keep 1. Let's do another one. Here's the shirt, and you needs 3 pages. So with this one, you would keeping this one, you're ripping in between, keeping, ripping, keeping. Again, that would be keep, rip, keep, rip, and keep. So the formula would be 1, rip, 1, rip, and 1. Then for the next one, which is the split page, really simple. You only need 2 pages, so you are keeping the first page, you're ripping in between, and then you are keeping the next page. So that would be 1-R-1. So each time you see the 1, you see that's the page you have. So you need 2 of the 1, so that's 1 and 2, that's a 2. Same thing here, 1, 2, 3, 3 pages. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and flip through my cookbook here so I can show you guys on the post-it the formula. I already have it written out. You can pause it if it's going too fast, or you could make something like this, which is you put the number of pages you need, the name of the pockets, and then the formula. So I have mine in my binder that I have here, so I know exactly where it is when I need it. Let me go ahead and do the flip through. The last 3 pages that I showed you guys, the RB Sudoku, the wallet, and the Prisoner of Crafting was the bonus pocket in the last episode. If you guys missed that, the playlist link is in the description below. I do want to talk to you guys about one particular pocket, which is Hey Seaville. As you can see on this one, I really try to make it simple, which is the formula is 1-1-1, which is basically you are not ripping anything in between. But if you need to rip pages in between because you are trying to make your book to look, balanced, then the formula would be different. The formula would be this. You would need 5 pages, and this is the formula. It gets a little complicated, so I'm going to show you guys how you would do this. I have a little sample right here. So you can see these are page 1. So they are all labeled. So this is what you guys would need to do. You take, once you rip out the pages in between, you would have 5 pages left. So what you would do is you would take page 1 and page 2, and you would cut out twice. So you would have 1, 2, and 3, like this. Then you would put that aside, and then on page 3 and 4, you would take those 2 together, and you would do your cutting right here. All right? Then you have page 5, which is going to be your base. So that's how you are doing your cutting. Now for gluing, you would take 4 and 3. If you do not need to strand up your page, like because you're doing scrapbook paper or something and you don't really need the page to be sturdier, what you would do is you would rip out page 4. I wrote it out here. You would rip this out, and then you would glue 3 into 5. The same concept for page 1 and 2. You are going to rip up number 2, and then you're going to glue 1 into 3. So then you would have your pocket here and over here. Then for the top, which is this, now you have all these 4 pages together. What you would do is you would rip out 2 and 3, and you're going to glue 4 and 1 together, and you're going to make a pocket for the top. And that's it's flipping by itself like this. Okay. Then the last piece is this, which is supposed to be the belly band for the opposite page over here. So for 1 and 2, I would go ahead and glue this together. Even though you're decorating it, I would glue this together, and then you're going to put glue on 1, and you're going to put it on the opposite side right here. Then you would have a pocket right there. Right? So with this, you can do it that way. This way or this way. It will work. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. Now we're ready to go ahead and alter a book. First thing that you need to do is going to be picking out your book. This is the book that I'm going to use. The only thing I need to check on is to make sure it is a glued down book, not a sewn in signature. Then the next step that you need to do is you need to know your book. You need to go ahead and find out how many pages there are. And this is the process that I do. I check to see what is the last page number. It says 283. So in reality, there's really 284 because books are two-sided. So the book I have here has 284. Then on the front, I'm going to figure out where page 1 is. And this one, because the first number it's written here is 7, then I know this is 5, 3, and then this is 1. So this is 1, which means we only have 1 page that is extra in the front. So I'm going to do +1, the front. Okay, then I would check the back, looking for that last page number, 284 here. So this one we have 1, 2, and 3. So we have 3 in the back. You would multiply that by 2 because the book are 2-sided. So times 2, which is 8 pages extra, like this. So you would do 284, your total, plus 8, and that is 292. That is your total page with extra. Then what you want to do is, I mentioned before, when you're dealing with the book, you never want to tear out the first one and the one next to it, because these two, as you can see here, it's glued. So with this one, you want to go ahead and glue that together. And the same thing on the back. This one and then this one, you would glue together, which means you are losing 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. So then now, 4 pages, you are losing, and you're going to do that times 2. So that is 8. And now you want to subtract it off the 292, right? So now we're still back at 284. We're back to 284. Then you want to go ahead and decide, okay, where do I want to start my first pocket? So with this one, I normally like to keep the title page like this, and also the copyright, what year it was. That's just my preference. And because 5 is really blank, I'm also going to go ahead and keep that. So I'm starting out my first pocket on 7. So I'm losing 2 more pages. Times 2, that is 4. Then you subtract a 284. Then you would have 280 pages that you are really working with. But then to do kind of one side, not one-sided, but you know, when this is 1 page, but it's got 2 pages, the front and the back, right? Then you want to go ahead and divide this by 2, and you have 140 pages that you are working with. So in general, for step 3, you are supposed to kind of plan out how you are going to decorate your pages. Are you going to do something minimal, which is you're going to maybe just ink it or add some washi tape, maybe doing some stamping or adding some stickers? Or you are going to use scrapbook paper, digitals, or book pages, and you are going to decorate the full pages kind of like this. So once you have that figured out, there's a couple of tips. If you are doing a full-on coverage like this, what you want to do before cutting, like for instance the minis, before cutting, you want to go ahead and decorate your page. You want to decorate the first page, the second page, and then the third page on the back here. Once you have everything glued, then you would do your marking and then you would cut. It would make it a lot easier to kind of line up your pictures like this if you cut it all just at once. And then also if you are doing the full page, when it comes to folding, you have these extra flap, like on the corner scrap, you're supposed to fold it, right? And this because you already have that extra bulk and extra strength on your page, you're not going to need this. So you want to go ahead and cut this off. But if you're doing the minimal like this, then you want to go ahead and glue this down so that way you have that extra strength for your pocket. Step 4 is going to be planning out your pockets. How many pockets are you going to put in your journal? And it's all going to depend on the thickness of your spine, the material that you're going to be using to decorate the pages, and then the purpose. Is it going to be a writing journal, an art journal, or maybe it's just going to be a storage type of journal? To give you guys an idea what it would look like, I made one as a storage type of journal, which I did very minimal. I just inked. I didn't put any washi tape or any sticker. It is just inking. I want to use that to store all these ephemera that I have in a box that I've made since I start journaling. Some of these were like the 5-item challenge or something. So I want to be able to put it in a book because I don't like how it just stays in the box. So as you can see, it is a lot. And this book that I have, the spine on this is 1.5 inches. And as you can see, when it doesn't have anything inside, it is not 1.5 inches. It's maybe 1 inch. So there is plenty of room to grow, right? Before it would become a gator mouth. So I want to show you guys what this book would look like once I put all of these in there. This is what it looks like when all my stuff are in there. As you can see, it is a gator mouth. The opening on this is 4.5 inches. If I press it down, just not by force, just I know I can do it a little bit if I wanted to add a closure, it's still 3 inches. With all the stuff that's in here, it's not gonna be anything lower than 3 inches. So in general, whatever the thickness of your spine, chances are it's going to double, especially if you're going to be decorating your pages with the full-on scrapbook paper or digitals, or if you embellish heavily, like, you know, for instance, like this, there's a couple of layers in there, you're still gonna add a bulk into that. Or if you are making tags like this, then of course that's gonna add more bulk, because as you can see here, I use a branch, so that's adding more bulk. But this is how I make my things. There are a couple of things in here that probably doesn't need to be in here. Like for instance, this one. This was kind of my first one that I made. It's a little flip-flop, tons of envelope kind of thing. And each envelope has something inside it. So it's pretty thick. So that's adding a lot of bulk to it. So here's what I'm gonna do, just to kind of show you guys, or give you guys an idea how this all works. I'm gonna go ahead and go through this again and kind of take out the one that I know that's adding bulk to this journal. So this is the thing that I took out. I took this out. It's supposed to be a pocket, but it doesn't lay flat and it's very stiff, so it's adding a lot of bulk. I made an envelope gluing 2 digitals together, and then there's some layer to it, so again that was adding a lot of bulk. Then I have this one, which is a magnetic, I guess like a folio. You open it, it's got a couple of pockets, and as you can see, it's got stuff in there. Then I have this that I use a very heavy duty cardstock as a backing. Then of course I have this. So all of these that I just took out that I think was adding most of the bulk that doesn't need to be in this, it's still, without doing anything to this book, the gator mouth is still at 3 1/4. If I press it down, but not by force, press it down, it's 2 1/4. So you can see it's not as bulky, but this is typically what I would use to embellish my journal. So with this one, this book has 13 different types of pockets. And in between those pockets, like here's the shirt, I just have 2 pages that I glued together. Then here's another pocket. Then a page that I glued together. And then there's the 49 Dragonflies, not dreamboat, sailboat. So as you can see, there is a lot of pockets in there. I could probably, if I didn't want it to be a gator mouth, I can probably do lower than 13. But for right now, that's what I made this for, as a storage. So we're gonna have to keep that in mind when we make this journal, especially because this one only has 1 inch. Step 5 is going to be deciding how many pockets do I want in this journal. I'm going to decorate my page probably with maybe just some washi tape or some stickers or something. I'm not going to do the full-on page decoration. So with that in mind, I think I want to go maybe 7 would be the safe bet, because this one has 13 and it is 1.5 inches, and this is only 1 inch thick spine. So I think 7 might be the trick for this one. So now that I know I need 7, I'm going through my sample, and my binder is kind of divided. I have all the pockets that requires 2 pages, and then this one is 3 pages, and so forth. So I would just look through my binder here and go, okay, what pockets do I want? And I just flip through and take out the one that I want. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So these are the pockets I've decided. I have more than what I need, which is fine. I tried to pick out the one that I haven't used yet because I did this one, right? So I was trying to take out. So you want to do whatever, whatever you're vibing with. So let me show you guys what I did. I got the double trouble. So my next step would be putting them not in order, but like this has 3 pages, this has 3, 3, 3, and then I have a 2 and a 2 and a 3. This is what I have. So I know I need to pick out only 7, and just trying to get an idea. I have to omit something. So what I'm looking for is I want my book to be balanced. So I know I can go ahead and keep the 2 and 2 together. And then I probably need to omit these. So this is kind of similar. So let me go ahead and take out Shabby's Corner. I'm going to keep this one. Then this one is kind of a belly band. So let me take that one out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that would make it 7. Then what you want to do is think about, okay, now you kind of have to put it in order on how you're making it. Because again, we're looking for our journal to be balanced. So with that in mind, I definitely want, because double trouble is really 3 pockets together. So I'm gonna do this in the middle, and do it like this. And then this one is 2. So I'm gonna do the 3, and then 3. And then I'm going to do this here and maybe like this. I think that's the order I want it. So I have Hello Sunshine, the CV, the version 2 of the L shape, Double Trouble, CD envelopes, my Chevron, and BellaSunshyn's X. Once you have the pockets in order, you need to go ahead and write it out in a piece of paper. This is how I like to do it. I put the name of the book, how thick the spine is, when I'm doing this. I put down the important stuff is going to be the number of pages you need, the name of the pocket, and the formula. As you guys can see on this, on the R for ripping out, I have a blank right now because now we need to determine how many pages we need to rip out. But this is what I have. We have 140 total pages that we're working with. So now I need to write down how many pockets do I have that requires 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages, and 6 pages. So I just need to go ahead and count. I have 2 here, a 3, a 1, and a 1. And then I want to go ahead and do my multiplication. And then you add that all up, which is 23. So far we need 23. Then you want to count your R's. And you want to do that at least twice just to make sure you counted right, that you didn't miss an R there. I have 12. So from 23, and you add 12 plus 23 is 35. So in total for our pockets, you need your book to be at least to have 35 to have at least 35 pages. So from there, I can tell that that means I still have about 105 that I need to figure out what I'm going to do. So I think I don't want to make any more pockets because we're way over. And I want to go ahead and put pages in between, kind of like, you know, what I did with this one. I have, there's the pocket, and then I have this page. So I think with this one, I want to go ahead and put 2 pages in between. Which means the formula for oh my goodness, I can't talk anymore. The formula for this one is 1-R-1. I don't want to rip any more than 1 pages in this because I'm going to be gluing it together, so I don't want a whole lot of spaces in there. So with this one, you have 2 that you are keeping, and then you have 1 for your R. So now you need to figure out how many times are you doing that. I have my list here, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be times 6, and that's going to be 12 plus 6. And that's going to be 18. Then you need to do times 2 because you're putting 2 pages in between, right? Which is going to be 36. So that's the additional that you need. So now you have the 36 here, and then you need the 35. So you're going to go ahead and add 36 and 35, which is going to be 71. That is the total number of pages you need for your book to have. So if you were going to do this project, which means you have to look for a book that has at least 71 pages for this to work, right? But since we have way over than 71, we need to calculate how much we have over. So we have 140 total pages, then we need 71. So we're going to subtract it off the 140, which is going to be 69. So 69 is what we have left over. Now I want to use 69 to rip out the pages. So what I would like to do is for the R's, just for the pocket, not the pages in between, for the pocket, we have that 12 times. So I want to go ahead and divide 12 into 69, which is going to give you a decimal. So it's going to be roughly about 5. 5 and what is it? 5.75, I think is what my calculator said. Once you have that, so you kind of have the idea, okay, so for the R here, I'm going to rip at least the 5. So how much left over do I have? So now I want to go ahead and do 12. That's still the R. And I want to go ahead and multiply 5 to that because I'm doing this here, which is going to be 60. So as you can see here, from 69 to 60, I have 9 pages extra that I need to figure out what to do with. So far, what we have is we need 23 pages for our pockets, right? For the R, for each R, we are going to rip out 6 pages. There's the 5 here. Plus, we already calculated we're doing at least 1, so that's 6 pages. So let's see if I can write this out. For the pockets, you needed 23 total, and you are ripping out 6 times 12. And that's gonna be 72. Right? Then for the pages in between, you are doing, what is this, 24? 2 pages in between. Oh my goodness. In between, you are, what did I say? 2 pages in between. You need 12 pages for that, times 2 is 24. So you have 24. Then you're ripping out 1 at a time, and that would have been times 6, but you're doing that twice, so that is 12. So if we calculate 23 plus 72 plus 24 plus 12, we have 131 pages. And if we have to add that 9 extra, that looks like 19. The 9 extra, that makes it 140. So I did my math right. So with this one, what do you do with the extra 9? And this is the stuff I do. I look at my pockets, and I want to see if there's anything that I need to kind of double up because I need the reinforcement, since I'm really not going to be covering it with a full digital or scrapbook. So I would just check to see which one that would need it. I think I figured out it was only this one. Everything else is going to be strong enough that I think it's just this one. So with this one, we're adding, I'm going to use my blue pen here because this is for the extra. We're going to add one to the Seaville, or this, yeah. We're going to add one here. Then I want to do another pocket in between. Hello Sunshine. So instead of 2 here, I'm going to have 3. So I'm going to do another 1-R-1 because then that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I have another extra one, which I looked at my book, and with this one, I want to go ahead and I decide to go ahead and keep this because it's, yeah, that's going to glue together. I want to go ahead and keep this because it's blank, and then this. So that is 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6, I have 1 more, and I decided I want to put that on the end. So we're going to do another 1-R-1. That is my 9 extra pages. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did that make sense? Because what I would need to do in here, on my notes, I am going to put a 6 here for Hello Sunshine. And the CV, I'm going to still put 6 here, right? And then over here, you have the 1 here and the 2. And the third one is the one that I want to add the extra. So I'm doing a +1 here. And I'm going to do a -1 here, and I'm circling that just to remind myself that is the extra. So for the L shape, you're just going to fill this up with 6. Like that. Then if you want, in here, you're going to do 1-R-1, and this is going to be 3 times. Then in here, you're going to do 1-R-1, and that's going to be 2 times. And then for the BellaSunshyn here, you're going to do 1. Like that. I was struggling on how to explain this process here because it seems to me it was a bit confusing. So I'm hoping that I was clear enough on how I calculate everything. If you have any question, please leave a comment below and I will answer them. So, but for now, this is what I am working with. I have what my pocket is going to be, how many pages I'm ripping out, and the book that I'm using. My next process, which would be what, step 5, I think. I can't remember what step we're on. My next one would be paper clipping my book. So because there are so many pages that you need to rip out, like there's 6 pages here, what I would do with mine, we know we are skipping these. We're starting on page 7, or I am. What I would do is take my paper clip and I'm going to paper clip the pages that I'm keeping. So with the Hello Sunshine, I'm going to paper clip the first page, the second page, then I'm going to count 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I'm going to go ahead and paper clip the last page, right? So this here is going to be my first pocket. Then for the one in between, I am doing, this time I am putting my paper clip on the top. So I'm going to keep this ripping this out, and then I'm going to keep this. And this is going to be my first page that I'm gluing together. Then again here, keeping, ripping, keeping, and then this one I need three times, right? So I need to do it one more time. Keeping, rip, and keeping. And I would go ahead and do this throughout my book just to make sure that my pages are calculated correctly. And I want to be able to rip out the pages without thinking. So I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera. I have my book all paper clipped, ready to go. I like to prep my book this way is because when I am ripping out the pages I need, I like to alternate. I will work on the front, so I would do the first one, the Hello Sunshine, take off all the pages I need, and then once I finish that one and the extras here, I would go on the back of the book and I would start taking out these pages. Then once I finish that, I go on the Seaville. So I like to alternate. I find it a lot easier to rip out the pages. And I'm going to do this off camera, but now this would be the time for you to watch a show, a movie, or maybe your favorite YouTuber, me. But this is the time where you want to enjoy the process, because this is going to be a long process to take out. So do something or watch something you're enjoying. If you are getting frustrated and you're not having fun, put the book aside and do something else. You know, wait for an hour or maybe the next day and then work on it again. It is a long, boring process. So I'm going to go ahead and do this on my own, and when I'm done, I'll be back. I did have an issue in my book. I got it all out of the spine like this. So for me to fix that, this is the beginning of my Hello Sunshine pocket. So this is 1, 2, and this is the base. So that's 3. And you're not going to see that, but I want to make sure it stays in place. So once I am ready to glue down my pocket, I'm going to make sure I put glue on the spine over here. And I'm going to put my 3-in-1 glue because I think it's just going to work better to do that. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and glue together the pages that are in between our pockets. So except the one in the back, I have one that I'm supposed to glue together here. And the way to do that, I'm going to use my art glitter glue. I don't use glue stick because you need a fine tip to kind of put your glue in between. So glue stick won't do that. You also want to alternate. If you're going to start in the back for gluing, then you want to go on the front. So you kind of do like the way we were ripping. So with this one, we can actually do, let's go ahead and do this one. This one, I would only put glue on the edge. On the top, on the bottom first, whatever, and then the top like this, okay? And I would just do the top and bottom first, use my bone folder. I would do this, and then I would turn it the other way and do the same thing on the bone folder. And that's how I glue. So I'm gonna wait till that glue dries. So let's go ahead and do the other one. I think I'm keeping this, so it's these two. Again, I'm putting glue on the top. And I make sure when I'm gluing, I put glue like right on the spine over here, and then also at the bottom. because I want to make sure the pages look like they're one. So I don't want any holes in there. So take this, just lay it down, hold your book like this, and do the bone folder. And then I'll just wait and see. What I want to do is look here. You can see how that looks like it's one page now. There's that one, and then there's the other one. And if it looks like there's a gap there, I'll just pinch it. I'll either use my hand, or you can use some kind of what do you call those, paper clip, or not paper clip. These, I would just put them in here to kind of pinch it like that for a little bit. So now let's go back to the first one we glued. We glued this one. So now we're gonna go ahead and put glue here. I find it a lot easier for something to glue when you only do the top and the bottom first, and then you do, to kind of release the air, I think is what why it makes it easier. And then I'll just put and by going one this way and then this way, it's the way the pages kind of turned, right? And that one is done. And now we go back to our other one here, and we're gonna do the same. And you try to go to the very edge if you can. And if your pages are not lining up, don't worry too much about it. You can't really help it. It's not going to be perfect because now you're working with pages that are not meant to be right next to each other. So you might have pages that are kind of not lining up. So that one is done. The only thing I'm looking for on the edges is to make sure there is no gap. Like, I want to make sure the edges are really glued together. And so I finished that. Then I'm going to go to the front and do the other one. Do not do the pockets yet. I just wanted to show you guys that the way I glue the full pages. Now, the next step you would do once you have your individual ones that are glued, what you want to do is work on one pocket at a time. So let me do this one. So with this one, it's Hello Sunshine. You know that we need to go ahead and cut our window. So I'm going to do that off camera. I have my pages ready so I can show you guys on how I glue this. As I was working on this pocket, I realized I can't really show you guys yet how to glue it, because especially if you're doing the full-on decoration page, you were supposed to decorate this page first before you do your cutting. And then you would have to decide how you're decorating this page, because that's what you're going to be seeing here. So you would have had to decorate this page along with this. Since I'm not doing the full-on page, I need to go ahead and figure out how I'm decorating this, and also if you're going to ink. Because if you were going to ink, you want to go ahead and ink this and this. And I should have done it on this page too before I did my plastic. But I think with this one, I decided I'm not inking the edges like I did with this one here. I did the pocket with the inking. I thought it would be a lot easier to do inking on the book, just to know. I thought that would be the easiest than trying to do some kind of washi tape, but it is a lot of work. It was a lot of work to ink this whole book. So just keep that in mind when you think the easy way out is to ink. It actually isn't. It is also time consuming. So for just an example, I'm going to go ahead and decorate this page first for you guys. And so I can show you guys how I would fix this issue. I think it's too early in the morning because I did this. I don't know what I was thinking. This is awful. I am not happy with this. I'm okay with this, even though it's a bit crooked. That's okay, because it's kind of hiding. So now, how do I fix this? I have a couple of options. I'm lucky to have these 2 extra pages. I can go ahead and use this. If I didn't have this and all I had was this, and you know how I said I like to keep the copyright and the title page, I think I would have been okay with cutting my window here rather than keeping this, because you don't want to keep something that you are not happy with, because then you're not going to be happy with the journal at all. And I don't want this to be the initial thing that I see in this journal. If you didn't have any extra pages, of course, we can just take one of the one that we ripped out, do our window, and then glue it, and boom, the ugliness is gone. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, create my window on this one, and then try to figure out how I'm going to decorate it. So this is what I'm happy with. There it is. And now I'm ready to go ahead and show you guys how I'm going to glue this. Like I said, I'm using my 3-in-1 glue. I think because it's going to be flexible, it's going to move a little bit, and I just want to make sure I get right in the groove of that spine. And then you're going to have to hold the book, probably give it a couple minutes for that glue to dry. I let it dry for 5 minutes. So let's see what it looks like now. Oh, look at that. Looks like we never had that issue. So now I'm ready to go ahead and glue my pocket since it's all decorated. So I'm just going to put glue at the bottom first. And now it's then I can go ahead and do the side because it's going to be a top loading pocket. So like I said, your book are not going to line up once you glue it. You see how they're not quite lined up. And over here, there's like a little cut there. I can go ahead and cut that off. I probably will. And then when you decorate, if I want to kind of hide that, I can use the washi tape. So this page is done. And there's a couple of things I want to point out that I did a little different. I did do my pockets already. Like this one, it's the Seaville, and it's supposed to look like this, right? What I decided to do is, this is the first page. I decided to just fold the first page like this, and the second page, I'm keeping it intact like this, because I want a pocket over here, and then I want a pocket over here. And then with the top, I'm leaving it like this. I might later want to fold it, or I might keep it this way. I'm not sure yet, depending on how I'm decorating it. That's the beauty of these pockets. You can change them, you know, any way that would suit you. Then the other thing I wanted to try out was the CD envelope. I added what I called my connectors. I'm gonna put glue here. And so when you glue it, I think it's gonna open better when you have, maybe I probably put stickers in here or little ephemeras to add to the book. And I did the same thing for the smaller one. I did that. And then this other one, in case you guys were having the same issue as I was having a hard time with this. This one, my chevron here that I did looks like this, which is not quite right. The second page here is not lining up to the first page. So I figured out how to do it easily. And I wanted to show you guys on how I did that. So then it would look something like this. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm taking two pages, but you really need 3. We're not working on the base. So this is the first page, and then this is the second page. On your first page, what you need to do is, I'm using a ruler size, which is about 1 inch. I went ahead and did my marking here. Then I also did the bottom, and then on the top. Then you also need to find your middle. So I have a page that was folded, and I went ahead and marked my middle right here. So now what we need to do is we're gonna go ahead and take off. So I'm just gonna rip it. I'm gonna go ahead and take off that ruler size. Okay, on the first page, you're gonna have to do that. Then you are supposed to, it depends on your book. With this book, I decided to go with 1.5 inches. So I mark 1.5 inches, and there it is. And I cut it, so I have that opening. Then what you wanna do is from right here, remember that ruler mark we did? We have one at the bottom, and then we have one at the top. And from where you cut, you wanna go ahead and fold that. And I just use a ruler to help me. You do the same one here. And of course, you're gonna have to turn that on the other side like this. And you're gonna go ahead and glue that down. So that would be glued. So that's the first. Now you take your second page, and of course in your book this is going to line up. So now you take your second page, and what you would do, the same ruler that you've been using, you're going to go ahead and do it right at the edge like this, and you're going to do your pencil mark like that. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Do your pencil mark. And then you're going to turn the book, and you're going to do the centers. Which obviously, like that. Okay, so there's your second page, which means you're going to have to cut here. Go ahead and do that. And now where you're ending here and here, you're going to go ahead and fold. Turn it on the other side. And my folding may not be perfect because I can't see very well, but it's going to look more cohesive. So it's going to look like that. That is, of course, you just need to erase your pencil mark, and that is the easiest way to go ahead and do my chevron. The other thing I think I want to change on this book. As you can see, there is a lot of pages gathering up right in the front. You see how kind of there's a gap there? I think what I want to do is, this is the Hello Sunshine. We're supposed to have 3 pages that we're supposed to be gluing. So we got 1, 2, and 3. I already glued this, so that's gonna stay. But with this one, I'm gonna go ahead and rip this 2, the one in the middle, so I can still hide the rip, and then I'm gonna glue this together. So now we're only gonna have 2 pages in between Hello Sunshine and Seaville. Okay, and then the other one I already glued, that's glued, and that's glued. And then there's the L shape. So this one I haven't glued yet. Just for trouble, I'm gonna do the same thing here. These 2 are we're supposed to glue, but I wanna go ahead and rip these 2 pages out and then glue this together. So now in L shape, there's only 1 in between. And this is the double trouble. And then between the CD, I'm gonna do the same thing. And I think that's all I can do, except on the back. This one here, remember we were keeping these together. I think with this one, I'm gonna go ahead and rip this off. And then this one, I'm just gonna make a simple pocket, just like this. That's it. So here's my notes that I changed. It's the one in red, changed it up, just in case you guys are following me. I think it's gonna balance my book better, and I think it's gonna be better over here, because I'm afraid it's gonna be all bulky in the front and not really in the back. That's why I decided to go ahead and take out some more pages. So the only thing that's left to do is going to be decorating the pages and gluing the pockets, and also deciding on what to do with the cover. I have been working on this series for 2 months now, and honestly, I am burnt out. I've made so many altered books, and my heart is no longer in it. And I think I need to put this aside and do something else, because if I continue, the decoration, it's gonna show, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna put this aside and work on it later, which is perfectly fine, because the series is really over. I showed you guys how to make your own pocket reference with 31 different types of pockets. I showed you guys how to do the pop-up flower, and then my binder system, where it makes it easier for you to play with your pockets as you create your own altered book. I explained to you guys the process that I go through when I create my altered book. I hope I explained it well enough and I didn't make it too complicated. But if you guys have any questions, or maybe you have an idea of what my next video should be, please leave a comment below. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. I hope you guys had fun. Thank you guys so much for crafting with me. Until next time, happy crafting.